Hello friends, do you love tea and natural wellness products as much as I do? I've partnered with Positively Tea and Positively Botanicals, and I can honestly say I drink their organic loose leaf tea almost every day, and I love it. From organic teas to natural remedies, they offer high-quality products that support a healthy, mindful lifestyle. When you shop through my affiliate link, you not only discover amazing products for yourself, but you also help support the podcast. Visit the link in the show notes to explore their selections today. And for you coffee lovers, they have you covered as well. Treat yourself, support the show, and keep connecting with the natural world. Welcome friends to the Forest Connection. I'm so glad you joined me today for this special, I'm going to call it a special episode. It's for basically in honor of the fall equinox. And if you're not familiar with the autumn equinox, then this is a good episode to listen to because I'm going to tell you all about it. Normally you get my episodes on Thursday. But the autumn equinox this year fell on a Monday, so that's why I'm releasing it early Monday morning. Hopefully you're listening to it early Monday morning. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about doing some different, rituals, if you want to call it, traditions that help you celebrate the autumn equinox. And if you're listening to this later in the week, that's fine too. Maybe you didn't realize it came out Monday and you are listening to it on a Thursday instead. That's fine. You can still do these autumn equinox rituals. I like to do them right on the autumn equinox, however. But anyhow, the equinox, why do we celebrate it? I mean, some people are just like, okay, all it means is that summer's over and we're headed into the cold winter season. But to me, for many, many years, the autumn equinox has been a special time, and even the spring equinox too. It's kind of been passed along through generations. There's been a lot of different customs throughout the years, different traditions by different civilizations, different cultures who celebrate it. And I will get into a little bit of that too, but I do want to basically tell you that the reason is the equinox basically represents balance. Okay, it's when day and night are equal. Equal time of day as time of night. So you're going to get 12 hours of daylight. I've got a guest on my podcast today. There's a woodpecker somewhere up in the trees. I can't see him, but I hear him. He's getting closer. Anyhow, you have 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of night. So you hit that balance, that equality. It's also a time of transition. As I am in the woods here, just going for a nice stroll, as I'm in the woods, I'm noticing a lot around me. If you listen to my Nature Wander podcast, I have an episode where I'm just wandering through the woods and observing. And I'm noticing all the transitions with the animals, with the trees, with all of nature around me. I mean, the light is starting to wane, starting to get shorter. Daylight is starting to turn into nighttime after this. So, yes, shorter days. Everyone knows what's coming up. The season is shifting. And what I like to think of as a season for nature is actually shifting into rest and, here's a big one, renewal. Yes. So the trees are hibernating. They're getting ready for their hibernation now. They are going to be hibernating all winter. They are resting for the year to come, and they're dropping their seeds right now too, so that there'll be fresh renewal, new trees growing in the spring. So as autumn is in the air for us, yeah, I've been noticing you can almost smell autumn. But anyhow, autumn is in the air. We can start thinking about putting some balance, not just in nature, but into our own lives as well. I also look at the autumn equinox and the spring equinox, not as much though. I look at it as a time for reflection, to see what direction my life has been heading in, what the summer brought with me, what new things have, come into my life. And so I reflect back on the last year and start thinking about changes. And we'll talk a little bit about that as well in this episode. So anyhow, in this episode, we're going to explore what the equinox can teach us about balance, about letting go, and also something that I have really gotten into a lot in the past several years, gratitude. Okay, he'll teach us about gratitude. So together we will take time to pause, connect with the forest, connect with nature, and reflect on the rhythm of the season. So welcome to the autumn equinox. For thousands of years, people have marked this time of year, this turning of these seasons. They've gathered in honor of cycles of the light and dark. This has been an important time for many cultures. Of course, one of the more famous ones that most people know of is Stonehenge in England. I actually had a chance last year to visit Stonehenge, and it was a real magical place for me. It was interesting to see. I mean, I've seen pictures of Stonehenge. I've seen, the photographs and even videos of the equinox at Stonehenge, and how the stones were built to line up with the sunrise or the sunset, depending on which equinox you're at, and how they would have celebrations there. So I have heard all about that, but I've never been there. My father's been there. He took my kids when they were younger there, so they've been there, but I had a chance this past year to actually go there, and it just is so different in person, because not only do you get to see these rocks, I mean, I didn't go during the equinox, but it was still magical to me. And it wasn't just seeing the rocks and imagining how they built this place, but it was also, it had some energy to it. Just the energy of the place. It was just, magical. And you may think I'm crazy, but, I learned over the years, and the more you try, the more you do it, the more you can sense a change in the energy of things. And you probably do it all the time, you just don't even notice it. But I could tell there was like a different energy to this place. So it was kind of neat to see. But Stonehenge is probably the one that most people know about for the equinox and the celebrations during the equinox. Part of me wants to go to Stonehenge during an equinox, and part of me is like, I don't like crowds that much, so I don't know if I want to put up with the hundreds or thousands. I mean, there's a lot of people that go there for the equinox, and everyone's trying to line up perfectly with the stones and the sunrise. And I don't know if I would do that, but anyhow, Stonehenge, for those who are not familiar with it, it's these huge boulders. They're in this stone circle. It's in England. It's about an hour east, I think it is, from London, taking the bus or the train. But, I mean, there's a lot of people that gather there for the equinox. And for many of them, it's like a spiritual experience for them. And I get it. Like I said, I could feel the energy of the place. I can only imagine when it's, during the equinox. But whoever built it, no one really knows, but whoever built it, they must have felt that energy of that area too, that space. So can you imagine those standing there on a cool morning, and you're waiting for the sun to rise? You got hundreds of people around you and everyone's standing there in silence. I have seen videos of this. And then the sun comes up suddenly, and it's just the awe of the place. The energy of the place as the sun rises up. And, I don't know, it just seems like such a magical place to spend the equinox at. And people have been doing this for hundreds of years. The Druids, they used to do it, the pagans, and modern Druids and pagans still celebrate here with rituals, songs, meditations, all of it honoring the balance and the cycles of nature. But Stonehenge is not the only place. There's other places that also, other cultures that also celebrate the equinox. The Mayan and Aztec pyramids in Mexico, and I know I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but I will try my best. Anyone who's from Mexico, I apologize if I totally massacre the name of it. The El Castillo pyramid. It was actually designed so that on the equinox, and this would be so cool to see, on the equinox, a shadow appears in the shape of a serpent descending the staircase of the pyramid. This is supposedly to symbolize the feathered serpent god Kukulkan. Hopefully I pronounced that right. The equinox there in Mexico, it actually marked the important agricultural cycles, which is another reason why the equinox is so important to a lot of cultures, is it was a time for harvest. So it was basically in Mexico a symbol, a time, the equinox, which was marking the agricultural cycles, basically guiding them for their planting and harvesting. In ancient Greece, around the fall equinox, the Greeks held ceremonies for Demeter and Persephone. They were the goddesses of the harvest and the underworld. Okay? These rituals, they would honor the changing of the seasons, life, death, and rebirth. So that is ancient Greece, where they did that. And then in Japan, they also have ceremonies. The equinox is still observed as a Buddhist holiday called, and hopefully I say this one right, Haigan, meaning the other shore. Once again, time for reflection, visiting ancestors' graves, and finding balance between the material and the spiritual worlds. Once again, the equinox, balance. Okay, day and night, same. So you'll notice a lot of harvesting themes in these, a lot of balancing themes in here, and a lot of renewal themes in here. Now, here in America, the Native Americans, they had traditions too for the equinox. Many tribes, they mark the equinox as a seasonal shift, often tied to the harvest festivals that they would have. So as soon as the equinox came about, they would do their harvest festivals. ceremonies would include feasting, giving thanks to the earth, and dancing, of course, and storytelling too. Busy people, the Native Americans, but they would give time for ceremonies, for festivals, every once in a while, usually with the changing of the season. So the equinox was a good time for them to, it basically signaled them to have their harvest celebrations, their harvest festival. And of course, they also celebrated the cycles of life, both in nature and in their own lives. And of course, there were Celtic and pagan celebrations. The Celtic festival of Maban, that is tied to the autumn equinox. It's basically a celebration of the second harvest. It's a time for giving thanks for the abundance that they have and for preparing for the darker half of the year. Many rituals with the Celtics often included sharing food. They'd make offerings, and once again, they were honoring balance. There's that theme again of balance. So you'll notice, like I said, there's common themes across all these cultures. Balance, honoring equal day and night, light and dark. There's harvest, giving thanks for food in abundance, preparing for the winter. There's connection, marking the turning of the seasons with community gatherings, rituals, offerings, and also spiritual renewal. Using the moment to reflect, release, and reset before the next cycle begins. So I want to introduce you to some equinox rituals. Some of these I do, and others are some that I've heard other people do. And it's basically a way to, get your life in order, I guess, and balance. So we're going to carry those same themes right into these rituals. So if you want to do them, great. If not, that's fine too. But I want to put them out there for you so that you can hopefully, use some of these to help you, help nature help you. So some of the ones, first of all, one thing that I do like to do on the autumn equinox is guided reflection, balance. You can do this on your own. You can, I know there's probably all over the internet, there's a lot of worksheets you can use for this too, but I usually just grab my journal or just a piece of paper and I reflect on the past year. So it's a good time to look at your life. Look at the balance in your life. Have you found balance in your life, or are you one of those people who spends most of their time working and not enough time relaxing? Do you spend too much time doing things that you don't really want to do versus spending time with your family, with your friends, doing the things that you do want to do? What's your balance like? Think about that and write some of these things down. It doesn't all have to be right away, just do it throughout the day, do it throughout the week. It's a good time to reflect on your own life and see what's in balance, what's out of balance. What can you add to your life? What things have you always wanted to do, but you haven't had time for, or you just haven't done it? I just recently was reading a post from an acquaintance. I know her, I just don't know her well enough to call her a friend, but she's a very nice person. She was a teacher, and she ended up just quitting her job because she wanted to do something in her life that meant a lot to her. So she started her own business, and she started doing that something, and she's happy. And sometimes we have to think about that. So what can you add to your life? What do you want to get rid of? What's not necessary anymore? You know, what things can you just say like, I don't need this anymore. It's not helping me. It's not good for me. So I just want to extract it from my life. I want to get rid of it. So write all these things down. I like writing it down because then you can remember it and you can look at it every once in a while and say, oh, yeah, I want to add that and I haven't done it yet. Do it. Just do it. You know, if it ends up being one of those things that you add and it's really not something you should have added, hey, you can get rid of it later. Not a big deal. This is also a good time for nature connection. It's a great time to start new practices of connecting with nature, getting out in nature more. Maybe you keep telling yourself, oh, I want to spend more time out in the woods hiking. I should be doing that every day after work. And do you? This is a good time to make that change. Make more connections with nature. Maybe it's finally a time to start meditating or doing yoga. Or, you know, several years ago, I kept telling myself, yeah, I should get up earlier before work and start doing some yoga in the morning. But that extra 15 minutes sleeping just seemed a little bit better than doing that. But one day I just woke up and it's like, you know what, I'm going to do that tomorrow. Yep, I'm going to do that tomorrow. And I set my alarm 15 minutes earlier. Actually, I think it was 20 minutes earlier. But I set it earlier. I got up earlier the next day and I started doing yoga and I decided I felt better throughout the day just because I stretched out and I just felt more energy throughout the day. And so I did it the next day and then the next day. And I've been doing it every single morning, whether it's a weekend, whether it's a day that I'm working, now that I'm retired, semi-retired. I don't have to, you know, worry about doing it before work unless I have, you know, a job but it's like I set it in my routine and now I do it every morning. I do 15, 20 minutes, sometimes longer, you know, I do my yoga and I feel so much better for it. So it's a good time to do that. It's a good time of year to do ritual of letting go. Okay, so if you're able, try this ritual. Okay, I do this when I'm hiking in the woods. I will find a fallen leaf somewhere in the woods. And if you're not in the woods, that's fine too. Maybe you have trees in your yard. Pick up a leaf on the ground. You know, don't pick one off the tree. That tree needs it, but pick a fallen leaf off the ground and hold it gently in your hand. And then as you breathe in, think of something in your life you're ready to release, to get rid of. Maybe it's stress, maybe it's worry, maybe it's an old habit that's not doing you any good. Maybe it's self-doubt, confidence, you know, lack of confidence, I should say. You know, maybe these things are things you want to get rid of. Well, think about it. Think about one thing as you breathe in that you want to get rid of. And as you breathe out, imagine that heaviness flowing into the leaf. So you breathe in and think about the stress you want to get rid of. And as you breathe out, imagine that stress, that heaviness flowing into that leaf that you're holding. Now when you're ready, place the leaf back on the ground, returning it to the earth. Okay? And let the forest take it, or let your yard if you're out in your backyard. Just as the trees let go of their own leaves to prepare for a new season, you are basically releasing whatever it is you need to release to the forest. Release, breathe, feel lighter. Okay, so you're getting rid of these things that are no longer needed in your life. Now maybe you want to do a harvest and gratitude practice. I love doing gratitude now. I learned this, I don't know, maybe like 5-6 years ago, doing more gratitude, having more gratitude in my life. I mean, we take so much for granted. I mean, and I try to think every night when I go to bed, I close my eyes before I go to sleep, I close my eyes and I just think about the day. And I think, what am I thankful for? What happened today that I was thankful for? What was the best thing that happened to me today? And then I thank the universe for that. You know, thank you, universe, for giving me such a wonderful day. When I was a kid, we used to say grace. My father was a minister, so we said grace at every meal. And as I got older and I had kids of my own, we kept that tradition where we would say grace at every meal. But then when the kids got older and they moved out of the house and, you know, it was just my wife and I, we kind of got away from that. Well, I brought it back, and my wife has too, where we actually will say grace. I mean, we don't say it out loud. We don't do the traditional, you know, God is great, God is good. Let us, I mean, if you want to, that's great. But we just, at our meal, we just quietly fold our hands before we start eating, and we think about, you know, how grateful we are that we have this food. And we're thankful for the people who prepared it, who grew the plants, who grew the food, and who harvested, and who brought it to the grocery store for us to, you know, get, or for the plants that grew the tomatoes that we picked off of the vine in the morning and we're having them for dinner tonight. You know, so gratitude has become a big thing in my life. I'm always thankful to the people. I say thank you so many times to people during the day. And I don't always get a response back, and that's fine. That's fine. I still appreciate them. We've lost that in our culture, unfortunately. When was the last time you said thank you to someone who did something nice to you or for you? You know, maybe you do. If you do, great. If you don't, start. Yeah, be thankful for what you have. And maybe you think, I don't have a lot. You know, I am struggling to put food on my table each day. But you do have food to put on your table. There's other people elsewhere who don't even have what you have. So be thankful for what you have. I mean, the universe will appreciate it, and you never know, you might get more in return for being grateful. So anyhow, I got sidetracked there. Harvesting gratitude practices. It's the equinox. It's a time of harvest, gathering what the year has given us. So take a moment to reflect on what have you grown in your life this year. Not just food, not just plants, but what have you grown in your life this year? What blessings, what lessons, or healing moments can you gather and carry with you into the next year? As you breathe in, feel gratitude filling you. As you breathe out, let the gratitude flow outward into the world, into the forest, into the season ahead. So another breathing exercise that I like to do. And just, once again, the gratitude of all that the year has given us. So, anyhow, these are some of the rituals that I do, and some of them I don't, but most of these I do. Some of these I've just heard from other people that they do, and I may start incorporating them in my life as well. But remember that the equinox, the autumn equinox, the spring equinox, but it's a doorway between light and dark. It's a doorway between the seasons. The season of activity and the season of rest, although I'm always encouraging people don't hibernate in the winter, but it's a time to rest again. Nature is resting in the winter. Time for us to rest and rejuvenate. And as you move forward in the new season ahead, okay, carry that balance with you. Release what's no longer serving you. Just like the leaf, okay? Trees let go of the leaves in the fall. We should be letting go of the things that we don't need as well. So this is a good time to do that. So I'd like to thank you for joining me today on the Forest Connection. Be sure to join me on my other podcast, The Nature Wander, as well. And I hope to see you next week. Bring some friends along. Like and share if you really enjoy the podcast. And go to the show notes if you'd like to support the podcast. All donations to my Ko-Fi page go to support both the Nature Wander and the Forest Connection podcast. It helps to buy new equipment. It helps me to get out in the woods more. But yes, you can support in that way. And also I have nature journals online that you can purchase. And those also go towards supporting the podcast. The links are all in the show notes. I hope to see you next week. And between now and then, keep connecting with the nature around you. Hello friends, I hope you're out wandering through nature, exploring the natural world around you. Do you enjoy writing about your wanderings? Nature journaling is an awesome, fun way to remember all the adventures you have taken and how you felt during those journeys. If you're looking for some beautiful journals to keep track of all your wanderings, I have several available on Amazon, including some guided journals for children. Start your journey in journaling by clicking on the link in the show notes. Keep exploring the nature around you and keep journaling all your wanderings. Hey there, fellow nature wanderers. If you're like me, you love spending time outdoors, breathing in that fresh air and connecting with the natural world. But at home, have you ever thought about what's in the products you use every single day? That's why I'm excited to share Apple Valley Natural Soap with you. Their handcrafted all-natural soaps are made with organic ingredients, essential oils, and no harsh chemicals. Awesome! So they're not only great for your skin, but they're safe for the planet. And they don't just stop at soap. Apple Valley Natural Soap also carries a full line of natural skincare products, including shampoos, body butters, facial bars, and more. All designed to nourish your skin without synthetic ingredients. You can't beat that. That's just awesome. Whether you're hiking in the woods or just winding down after a long day, their products bring a little bit of nature right into your home. And the best part? By supporting Apple Valley Natural Soap through the Nature Wanderer, you're also supporting this podcast. Just head to the show notes and click on the link for Apple Valley Natural Soap. So go ahead, treat yourself and the environment to something better. Your skin and Mother Nature will thank you. Now let's get on with our adventure.